Hi, Isabel.
Hi, thanks so much, Montserrat. I'm so excited. I'm sure everyone is excited to be here to hear from these amazing women on this panel. So let's start with an introduction to everyone that's going to be speaking today. We'll start with Anne Whitting. She is a 2020 recipient of the New York Refashion Week, Sustainable Designer of the Year Award, and founder of Ann James, New York. We also have Bridget Artis. She is founder of Sustainable Fashion Week and founder, author, designer of Born Again Vintage. We have Cynthia Harvey Brown here. She is fashion career advisor at FIDM, Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, and founder of Shift in Season. We also have Donnie Zhang. She's a mission-driven fashion model and founder of Sustainable Fashion and Health Tech Foundation. We have Katya Moorman, founder and editor of No Kill Magazine, creative director of Wear Wool New London, and adjunct associate professor, graduate communication design, and a thesis advisor at Pratt Institute. We also have Madison Phillips. She is a creative and organic marketing lead at A Day, a fast-growing direct-to-consumer brand on a mission to lift the standard of clothing with a wardrobe that does more with less. And we have Runa Ray. She's a fashion environmentalist and interdisciplinary designer and founder of Mojo Design Studios. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
So let's begin. So general question, this is for everyone. What, in your opinion, what is a fashion trend that shouldn't exist?
I have a trend in mind that's not so much clothing and what we wear wise, although, so trends exist to make money in the industry, basically, and they're fun. But there is also a trend, I think, when it comes to trends, for cleaning out your closet every season and dumping them at the Goodwill, and not trying to actually find a home for the piles of clothes that we all have. And that's actually not so good, because the Goodwill, it turns out, can only handle this much of the clothing that we're throwing at it every single year, and it's getting shipped out, it's getting thrown away. Shredded for installation or other recycled materials is good, I guess, but I think that trend of haul and clean needs to be swapped for swaps for conscious ways of making sure that your clothes go to a home and are loved, or throw it on Facebook Marketplace, whatever it is. It takes a lot more slowing down, and I know that a lot of people don't have time, but that's a trend I think that needs to go away.
So the next question I'm going to be asking will be to Anne, Bridget, and Cynthia. What's one of the biggest challenges with creating your sustainable brand?
Obviously, we need to be more intentional, and it's a challenge, but for me and for Shift in Season, it's really about educating and developing and maintaining that customer-centric focus and approach. And it's sometimes difficult because at one point I was also doing custom work, but now it's online and you don't really know who your customers are, but you try and engage with them, and you want people to understand what it is you do and why you do it. So you're constantly in this cycle of educating them as you're building your brand awareness, and trying to develop a relationship with your customers so that they really know who you authentically are and understand the pricing behind sustainable clothing. Why that question comes up, why does it cost more? So it's those elements that I try and be empathetic towards customers and help them to understand the value in sustainable clothing and purchases.
Very helpful and very important too. What are 5 things you learned from the fashion industry that must be changed? It's a pretty loaded question, but it's
Who's first?
Cynthia, you want to go?
I can go. Five things that I've learned that needs to be changed in the industry. There are a lot, but I think that because of the pandemic that we're all still experiencing, we've all in this industry realized that things needed to be reset even before. So I have been really interested in looking at the industry differently. And I feel like for a small brand like mine, and even mid-sized brands, I think they have an advantage now that we realize that things really do need to change. So that's one thing. And I think technology is helping us out as well, because we're not feeling like we're not able to go to every show. And we, are working a global economy. And so I think that needed to change. And so I'm seeing change. Fashion industry is a fast-paced industry, but it's needed to slow down. And I think the pandemic has given us an opportunity to see where we have been off. And now we're resetting and seeing things a little bit differently. I'm really focused on the students that I work with at the Fashion Institute, helping them understand and really become interested in, and there's training and classes and offerings and sustainability now. So I've seen the growth over the last few years. I just think that we all need to slow down and be more intentional, and not be such over consumers, and understand that we have to live in a way where what we do doesn't hurt someone else. So we have to be more intentional, more loving in how we live, how we invest in ourselves, and take care of ourselves so that we can do that for others.
Yes, it's having a better relationship with everything around us and ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Bridget, what are 5 things you've learned from the fashion industry that must be changed?
Well, there's a bunch of things that I would change. That's for sure. I'm like Cynthia. There's so many. Straight off the bat, number one would be how much we produce. That would be number one on my list, is the amount of production. Secondly, it would probably be have something to do with the textiles and how we're treating the fabrics. So that would probably be second. Third would definitely have something to do with trends. I hate the word. I hate trends. And and I hate that a lot is geared towards it. As far as fashion is the whole push is with trends. If we could do away with that somehow, that would be amazing. And I would love to go back to the 4 seasons. Even though we, to be honest, we don't have to even produce that much, but in comparison to 52, I think 4 is a lot better. So, it's just like you said, it's just so much to work on. But top of the list would definitely be how much we produce and how we produce.